Good morning. Hayom Yom, Aleph Iyar, the 16th day of the Eimer and Rish Chodesh. So the Hebrew month of Iyar is an extremely special month because the entire month takes place during Sefirah Hasichos. And like the Rebbe said many times, that means that this is the only month in the Hebrew calendar that every single day of the month has its own special, unique mitzvah. That day is Sefirah Hasichos, because every day of Sefirah is its own standalone mitzvah. So the Rebbe begins today's Hayom Yom, Rish Chodesh Iyar, with a story that is connected with the theme of Sefirah Hasichos. A long time ago, in the early 1890s, the Frierdiker Rebbe was by a Fabrengen with his father, the Rebbe Rashab. And this Fabrengen took place sometime during Sefirah Hasichos. And one of the Hasidim there, his name was Reb Nissim Melamed, he shared the following vart. He shared the following thought. He said that he had heard that the early Hasidim, the Hasidim of the Alter Rebbe, they were constantly counting. They were always counting. They constantly lived Sefirah Hasichos year-round. They were always taking account of and examining their own lives. And the Rebbe Rashab really liked and appreciated the thought. He really liked and appreciated the vart. And he said that one-liner, that thought, that vart, sums up and captures the approach one should take in Avodah, in self-growth and character development. And he explained that a person has to live mindfully. You have to count the hours in your day. You have to take account of the hours in your day. You have to map out your day and know what you want to accomplish in every moment, in every minute, in every hour, and every day. The most successful people in life are people that don't go through life mindlessly. They don't just do stuff sporadically, but they have every minute and hour in their day accounted for. They know exactly what they want to accomplish at every point in their day. And the Rebbe Rashab said, when the hours are accounted for, when the hours are counted, then the days will be counted. The days will become productive. You will accomplish a lot in a day. Every day will be a whole day, a successful day. And at the end of every day, you'll know what exactly you accomplished today, what you achieved, and what you still need to do. Instead of going through life all hazy and fuzzy and not knowing what you accomplished, what you didn't accomplish, sleepwalking through life. And he said when the days are counted, when the days are accounted for, then the weeks will be counted. The weeks will be productive. You'll have a productive life. And this is the deeper meaning of why in Sefirah Hasichos we count both the days and the weeks. It means that our weeks and our days and our months and our years have to be accounted for. They need to be productive. You need to maximize the time. And then the Rebbe Rashab concluded that in general, a person and a Jew needs to constantly make sure that tomorrow is a lot better than today. We have to constantly be growing and moving on an upward trajectory. So that's the Hayom Yom. Now, the Rebbe once talked about this Hayom Yom in a Sikha, and he added 3 amazing points. The first point is the Rebbe explained what is the significance behind the fact that we count time. So the Rebbe said there's 2 reasons why we count things. One reason why we count things is we count things that are precious to us, that are dear to us, that we like a lot, that we value. Like you count money because you value the money, you want to see how much you have. Every extra dollar you have, it excites you. You count your social media followers or whatever because you value it. It's exciting. Things that you couldn't care less about, you don't care less if you have a little more or a little less. You say, give me whatever. You don't really care about them. You don't value it. You count the things. You are precise about every single one on the things that you value. Then there's a second reason why we count things, though. Sometimes we count things for very practical reasons. If we're going on a trip and we need food, so we calculate how much food we have to see if we need a little, if we have enough, if we need a little more. Or you don't want anything to be stolen from your inventory, so you count how much you have to make sure that you don't that nothing goes missing, that you don't end up with less. So you count for very practical reasons. So you shouldn't get less or sometimes need a little bit more. But the Rebbe said, with regards to time, there's no such thing as getting more time or less time. You could be the richest person in the world. You have the amount of years and days that Hashem gave you. You can never get more time. And you can't get less time. So why in the world do we count time? But when we do count time, when we count the Sefirah, what we're symbolizing, what we're conveying, what we're saying is that we value time. The only reason to count time is not for any practical reason, but simply to convey the idea that us Jews, we value time. We don't value so many things in this world. We think a lot of things are silly and not worth our time. But time is something value. Time is one of the most precious commodities in this universe. And by counting times, we are conveying that idea. We are saying that we value time, we need to use our time. And when you let a day go by, you have just blown one of the most valuable things in the world. When you waste time to make money, you are basically throwing out the most precious commodity for a silly commodity. It's like giving $100 to get a penny. So that's point number one. Point number two, the Rebbe said, is that when you waste a day, you haven't just thrown out one of the most valuable commodities, you haven't just lost a day of time, but actually it affects your entire life. Because just like in Sefirah Hasichos, when you miss today, you haven't just missed the mitzvah of today, but that actually affects all the other days of Sefirah Hasichos. That affects the quality of all the other days of Sefirah Hasichos. For now on, you cannot make a blessing, you cannot make a bracha on any of the future days in Sefirah Hasichos. In other words, your future Sefirah Hasichos days are a little bit deficient. They're lacking. Says the Rebbe, in the same way, when you waste today, you didn't just lose the opportunity of today, but that affects the quality of your life for the rest of your life. Because a Jew is constantly meant to be growing. A person is constantly meant to be growing. Your quality of life is meant to constantly be growing. If today's quality of life was here, tomorrow is meant to be here, and here, and here, and here. And when you die, at the end of your life, you're meant to be up here. But if today you didn't grow, if today you were stagnant, if you wasted today, and today you were meant to go here, but you didn't, you just stayed here, then even if tomorrow you start growing, you're always going to be one step behind. And you'll never you'll never reach the quality of life you were ultimately meant to reach. You'll always fall a little bit short. So you have affected the rest of your life. That's point number two. And the third and final point the Rebbe says is that although us Jews always value time, we always think time is valuable and it needs to be utilized and maximized to the utmost, when us Jews, the time that us Jews make a special emphasis on this point is now during Sefirah Hasichos. Now during Sefirah Hasichos, between Pesach and Shavuos, we count time. Now is the time when we make a special focus and a special emphasis on maximizing our time and utilizing our time and making every single day count. Now, just an obvious thing is that the message of today's Hayom Yom, that every day has to count, you have to maximize every day, is essentially the message of the entire book of Hayom Yom. Because the title Hayom Yom, the title of this book, means making every day count, making every day a day, maximizing every day, utilizing every day, making every day count, using the hours, using the days. Have a wonderful day and God bless you.